Welcome back to TalkBacks, where revenge isn't just served cold. It's delivered on stage, in court, and sometimes in front of your whole damn family. Today's episode is all about betrayal from people who should have known better, and the brutal fallout when you don't stay quiet. First, a coworker tries to sabotage a woman in front of the CEO, but forgot the office has security cameras. Then, a best friend secretly films a girl changing, and ends up facing her own parents and a lawsuit. And finally, a father rewrites his will to cut out his daughter, until she takes him to court and tells the whole world what he did. Let's get into it. I used to think workplace drama only happened on TV. That was before I met Melissa, the walking HR violation with a Pinterest smile and a resume full of half-truths. She was hired 6 months after me as a strategic consultant. Translation: she repeated my ideas louder and made spreadsheets with pastel color schemes. I wasn't threatened, until she started treating every meeting like a chess match and I was her pawn. It started with accidental oversights. She'd forget to CC me on team emails. She'd reschedule meetings I was supposed to lead, without telling me. She'd present my work in alt hands like it came from our collaborative brainstorm. I documented everything. Still, I didn't complain. But then she escalated. We had an upcoming product review with the CEO. Biggest meeting of the quarter. We were both assigned to co-present. A week before the meeting, I stayed late every night compiling data, polishing slides, prepping demos. Melissa said she was working remotely but barely sent anything. The night before the presentation, I emailed her the final deck, stored on the shared company drive, with everything labeled. She replied, "Perfect. I'll see you at 10 a.m. sharp." The next morning, my login to the presentation system failed. My slides deleted. My notes gone from the drive. I asked Melissa what was happening. She blinked. "You must have forgotten to upload them. Don't worry, I built a backup version just in case." Her backup version? All my work. Stripped of credit. And suddenly she was sole presenter. I sat in the front row, humiliated, as she pitched my research to the CEO. But here's the part she didn't consider. Our building has security cameras. And the night before, I had left my badge in the office. To get in, I'd used Melissa's login, with her permission, through Slack. Meaning, the logs showed I hadn't accessed the system to delete anything. But someone else had. So I requested the camera footage. It took a little persuading, and a quiet word with the head of IT. The footage. It showed Melissa arriving at the office at 10:48 p.m., entering the shared workspace, logging into the admin panel, deleting my presentation folder, smiling as she shut the laptop. I sent the footage to HR, along with a timeline of the emails, Slack messages, file logs, and presentation version history. Then I waited. 2 days later, Melissa was asked to present again. This time, it was a follow-up to the CEO and executive board. They told her, "We'd like to see you walk us through your process again, with full transparency." I was invited to sit in. She started sweating. 5 minutes in, the CEO stopped her. "Actually, let's watch a short clip first." The lights dimmed. The security footage played. Melissa stared at the screen like it was a horror movie, because for her, it was. After the clip ended, no one said a word. She stood there frozen. The CEO simply said, "You're dismissed." And that was the last time anyone in that building saw Melissa. A week later, I got promoted to senior strategy lead. When I moved into my new office, someone had taped a sticky note to the monitor. "Cameras don't lie, but people do." I framed it. If someone tries to erase your work, just make sure you know how to hit undo in front of an audience. And now, let's talk about a best friend who crossed the line and ended up publicly exposed by the very footage she thought she controlled. You never think it'll be the people closest to you. But betrayal? It rarely comes from strangers. Her name was Maya. We've been best friends since sophomore year of college. Same dorm, same classes, same taste in music, movies. Even guys. Too much in common, maybe. But I never thought I'd end up watching footage of myself undressing, secretly recorded in her bedroom. Let me back up. It was spring break. I flew to her city for a week-long visit. We had plans: karaoke, day trips, margaritas, matching tattoos. Classic chaos. She lived with her parents but had a huge room in the basement. They loved me, called me their second daughter. Everything was perfect. Until it wasn't. One night, we went out. Too many shots. Too much laughter. I came home tipsy, took a quick shower, and changed into pajamas in her room. Maya was downstairs getting snacks. I remember noticing the iPad propped on the dresser. Didn't think anything of it. 2 days later, back at my place, my boyfriend went cold. Stopped replying. Left me on read. When I asked what was wrong, he sent one message. Check this. It was a video. Blurry, but clear enough. Me changing clothes. In Maya's room. Then, someone sent this to my friend. Said you were easy. Said I should watch my back. I felt sick. I confronted Maya. She denied everything. That's not for me. Maybe your ex is setting you up. I wanted to believe her. Until I checked my texts and realized only Maya knew about the nickname my boyfriend and I used. And that exact nickname was in the message that accompanied the video. I was done. I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I got legal. Step 1, I went to a lawyer. She told me that in our state, non-consensual video recording, especially in private settings, is criminal. Step 2, I printed out everything. Screenshots. IP metadata. WIFE logs she once bragged about controlling. Even a TikTok where she laughed about owning everything that happens in my room. Step 3, I got ready for dinner. Because her mom had invited me to her birthday. I showed up. Smiling. Hug everyone. Brought cake. After dinner, her dad asked about my trip. I said, sweetly. Actually, I brought something to share. It's kind of personal. I plugged in a USB to their living room TV. Hit play. The video played. Then a second clip, my screen recorded reaction. Then a third, the message from Anonymous. Maya's mom gasped. Her dad turned red. Maya screamed. Turn it off. But I didn't. I turned to them and said, you raised a girl who records her friends for fun, and then sends the video to ruin their relationships. Then I handed them the civil complaint and walked out. Charges were filed the next week. Her parents refused to pay her legal fees. The school launched an investigation. She lost her scholarship. Socially? Burned. Academically? Done. Me. I started a podcast on digital privacy. First episode, when your best friend becomes your black mirror. Some people think secrets are power, until you show them what a spotlight really feels like. And now, let's talk about a daughter betrayed by her own father, who didn't just take him to court, but took the whole world with her. You know what hurts more than losing a parent? Losing a parent who's still alive, but decided you don't count anymore. My dad used to call me his little partner. We ran lemonade stands, built Lego cities, played Monopoly like it was war. When my parents divorced, I lived with my mom. But I always spent weekends with him, movies, camping, Sunday waffles. Until I turned 17. That's when Helen came into the picture. And everything changed. Helen was young, barely 10 years older than me. She came with a son, Eli, 4 years old at the time. Dad started skipping our traditions. Then birthdays. Then phone calls. By the time I graduated college, I hadn't seen him in 2 years. But I still believed I mattered. Until the lawyer called. My grandmother, my dad's mom, passed away. She'd left behind a sizable estate. My name had been on her will since I was a teenager. She told me, you and your cousins will split it equally. Except, apparently the will had been updated. Now everything was going to my dad. And he, get this, had restructured his own will so that Eli gets everything. I was nowhere. Not even a mention. I called him. Dad, why? His answer? You chose to be distant. Eli's here. He's part of the family now. I hung up. And then I picked up a camera. See, I'm a documentary editor by trade. So I started recording clips of my dad and me from childhood. The emails I sent that went unanswered. Footage of Helen and Eli at family events I was never invited to. Testimonies from my grandma's old caregivers saying she never changed her will. I titled it The Daughter Clause. And then I lawyered up. We filed suit for inheritance manipulation, testamentary fraud, emotional duress, unjust enrichment. My lawyer was brilliant. She subpoenaed the notary who approved the new will, who admitted he'd never met my grandmother. The care home's admin, who confirmed my dad had brought legal documents when my grandmother was under sedation. Emails from Helen discussing securing Eli's future no matter what. The court date arrived. My dad sat across from me in a suit. He didn't look ashamed. He looked inconvenienced. I wore black, and a tiny gold necklace my grandmother gave me when I was 12. The case was solid. The judge ruled in my favor. My share of the estate was restored, plus damages. Helen and my dad were fined for misconduct. Eli's trust was restructured by the court. But I wasn't done. 3 months later, my documentary was picked up by a national streamer. The Daughter Clause aired in 6 countries. I told my story not just as a legal win, but as a cautionary tale about emotional abandonment, financial control, and the way silence is used as a weapon in families. It went viral. The final scene. My grandmother in an old camcorder clip, holding my hand and saying, "You'll always be part of this family? Don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise." Some people erase you with paperwork. I prefer to write my own name back in and film it while I do. Friends, thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Pro Revenge series here on TalkBacks. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another revenge story. See you next time.